Hi, YouTube. My name is Tiffany Domina, and today I wanted to talk to those of you who are considering whether or not you should start a blog. Today, the question I want to answer for you is, should I start a blog? So it's likely that if you're considering starting a blog, that you might have people that you want to help. You might see people that are getting success because there's success stories and videos and things all over online. And you might see some of those success stories. You might see the people in the fancy cars or the Ferraris or the nice houses and all that stuff. Or on the flip side, you might see people that say they're bloggers and they have a modest lifestyle and you just want to learn more about that. You might also enjoy writing like I did. When I realized that blogging was an option as a career field for writers, it was very interesting to me. So it might be something that you enjoy writing. You might have different writing careers and you might be considering blogging as a result of that. Another option as bloggers is that we can do blogging as video. We can do, or they call it vlogging. So you might enjoy doing video, and so you're considering blogging because video is something you enjoy doing, and you might enjoy the time or location freedom that it looks like other bloggers have because there's quite a few bloggers who are travel bloggers or um, there's people who they blog from their boat, they blog from their RVs, they're blogging from all of these different locations in the world, and you might see blogging as an optional career that could enable you to travel more. You might see it as an option for time freedom. So a little background on me. I realized blogging was a career field when I was in the military. I was in for 9 years from 2006 until 2015. And during the end part of my military career, when I was getting ready to, I was trying to make some changes. I realized that I had deployed one time. I had a 4-year old. I was still early on in my career, technically speaking, since it's typically a 20-year career if you want to retire. And so I was thinking that since my son is so young and it's still possible that I could deploy and leave him, that it was something that I really didn't want to do as a mom. It was something I felt kind of a little convicted about. And then my husband, I was a newlywed, so I didn't want to have to leave my husband. I didn't want to have to leave my son. Um, I had done it before, and I just wanted to see if there was another option, something else I could do with my skills that would enable me to make a good income, live a good lifestyle, and take care of my family and supported my values. So then I started thinking about the talents and the skills that I had at the time. During the time I was in the military, I published 15 books. So I had this aggressive writing pattern, and I felt that writing was a good outlet for me to communicate to other people. And it was a tool that I would use to empower other people and to share my life stories and to encourage people and things like that. So writing was just really um, a tool that I enjoyed using. And at the same time, um, I learned more and more about the internet, and the internet was just like this power source to me, where you can, you can, people that you can just increase your capabilities because you no longer have to pick up the phone and be live on the phone with somebody. You can actually, through the internet, you can record yourself, you can write something, you can put it on there and reach so many more people. And so I started to really be interested in this skill set. And so today I want to help you to decide if this is a good fit for you, because now I understand what tasks a successful blogger has to do in order to be able to make money. I understand what the schedule looks like, what the time requirements like, and what the core competencies are that you need in order to be a successful blogger and make money doing it. So I want to share with you, if you're considering whether or not blogging is a good career field or a good career transition for you to make, I want to kind of help walk you through what that might look like and to decide out of the pros and cons whether that would be a good career choice for you. So if that's interesting to you, this video is for you. So it's likely that if you're considering this career field that you might be stuck doing work you don't like. In my case, I was active duty in the military. In the military, it was such an evolution for me in my adulthood. I learned so many things about myself. I stretched myself so much. I challenged myself so much. I learned so many new skills, and it was a great experience overall. But then when I became a mom, which was actually at the early end of my career, when I became a mom and understood what I wanted to be as a mom, and then I also had this passion to be excellent as a military person, and it seemed like it always tugged and it was a conflict. And so I didn't want to stay in the military and be subpar, but I also didn't want to be a mom and fail at that. And I felt like it was just really difficult for me to have A's in both. So I needed to choose a career that would enable me to be excellent at both. And so I understand if you feel like you're feeling this tug between whether it's your values and your profession, or whether it's like, just work that you just don't enjoy. Maybe I've had supervisors and things like that we just didn't click well. So I can completely understand if you are experiencing some type of just discontentment because of the work you're doing now. You might also be experiencing a hardship. For me, I was doing freelance writing or not freelance writing, but freelance marketing services for a couple of years. And during my time doing the freelance marketing services, I really enjoyed helping businesses to grow. And I know with marketing, whatever it is that you do, the goal is to get them more business, get them more sales, get them more exposure. And so I really enjoyed working with businesses and helping them achieve those goals. But the conflict was if I had times where my kids they would get sick. And there was one time it was really severe. My son, he got really sick. His heart rate went down to 30 beats per minute. It was really scary. And I didn't know what was going to happen. And I didn't know how long it would take to get him better. And in that situation, I didn't know what to tell my clients to say, well, I need to stay away for maybe a week. And I wasn't for sure if it would get better in a week. And so I had this conflict where it was like, this is what I'm passionate about. I love doing marketing for these businesses, but I need to be there for my family. And this is really important. And I don't know how long this circumstance is going to last for. And so at that time, I just felt like I wish I had a career that at the time I'm doing it, I could be building an asset that could be leveraged differently so that if circumstances happen like this, that I can still have an income while I'm away. And doing the services that I was doing wasn't that way at the time. I hadn't scaled it to the point where I was able to outsource. And if you start a service-based business, it just doesn't scale that fast. It starts out like the business cycle starts out where the business is an infant, and it's almost like a newborn. It's very heavily dependent on you at the beginning when you first start a business. So a lot of the people that are giving advice and saying that whatever type of business, if you're a business owner, you start a business, it's just going to be so passive. It doesn't start out that way. And I've started several businesses, and I've been around lots of business owners. I network with them all the time. Businesses do not start out passive. They start out heavily dependent on you. And it gets to the point where first you employ, well, unless depending on how you fund it, but if you bootstrap, I guess, and even if you get venture capital, you still have to put a lot of sweat equity and time into uh, infusing your vision, infusing the mission, and getting the business off the ground. So I just don't see the people who say that the business is so passive in the beginning, in the startup phase. It's not. So in the startup phase, when you're it requires a lot of dependence. And at the time when I was looking for, at the time when I had this situation with my family, my business was still in that phase where it was heavily dependent on me and the services that I was offering to these businesses. And so when my son got sick, I had deadlines, I had expectations, I had people that I had committed to, and I felt responsible to deliver on that. But I also felt responsible to be a good parent. And I know that you can communicate to your customers and say, this is the issue, but sometimes that means that you'll lose them because at the end of the day, marketing is important. And if they're not getting their customers, and if they're not getting the sales like they want, and if they're expecting that you play a part in that, then you can lose clients because of a situation like what I had. And so I completely understand if you have a situation that, like, maybe you have a parent, you have a child, somebody's dependent on you, and you need to be there for them, and you're having this conflict between your profession and your values. I also understand if you have technical skills, like you're good at video, you're good at writing, and all these things, and you want to find an outlet to use them. And so those are the situations that I commonly see people in when they're considering blogging. And that those were some of the things that I was experiencing when I was looking into this profession and trying to decide if it was a good fit for me. So I want to go over the pros and cons with you. And here's a few of the ones that I've written down because I wanted to take some thought and make sure that um, I was really thoroughly addressing this for you. So the pros that I've noticed with blogging as a career choice, one of the big pros is the location freedom. Really, anywhere you can take your laptop and get Wi-Fi, you can set up to blog. Some people set up their video equipment. They travel all over. They blog from anywhere, any location in the world. Um, and that is a huge perk. So if you like to travel, that could be something huge for you. For me, I like to travel. I don't get to do it as much as I would like at this point because we have both the blogging business and we also have a construction business that's local. But I love the location freedom that I can have. I've been able to blog from anywhere in my city. Sometimes I'll take my kids to the YMCA, or I'll take them somewhere, and while they're playing, I'm able to still accomplish things. So when they're on spring break or when they're on summer break or things like that, I don't feel like I'm completely incapable of being productive professionally, or I don't take a big pay cut or something like that because I need to balance work and life. Um, for time flexibility, um, now some people misunderstand what that means. With time flexibility, um, blogging is not 100% passive. With blogging, it's actually a job, up until you scale it to the point where you've outsourced and things like that, and you have it where it's more of like a machine that's making money and you don't necessarily have to work in it. But up until that point, when you're first starting it out and you're building it up and you're building the machine, it is a job. And the job requires that either you do the video, you do the writing, you do the audio, the podcast. You might have to. I mean, you also have to do things like search engine optimization. You have to do things like graphic design. You have to do things like market research, and different things are included in the blogging career. So it's not 100% passive by no means. I actually I work fully, like full time, at least 40 hours a week on blogging. Part of it is because it's something I really love. So it's not something I try to restrict to part time. It's something I really enjoy. I love writing. I love impacting people's lives. I love engaging in the comments and responding to people's concerns and answering questions that they have about internet marketing. Is something that I really enjoy. So I can spend well over 40 hours and really not notice it. Um, but I want to say that it's not passive, especially with the climate of the competition out there in the market now. If you look at internetlivestats.com, you can see how quickly there are new blog posts going out. There are new websites going live and things like that. They have a lot of cool statistics over there. But when you look at that and you realize how many people are actually posting blog posts and things like that, it's not just for the faint at heart. You can't just post anything and everything and expect that traffic is going to come or expect that people are going to come. The quality is expected to be higher than what it was previously when the internet was very new. So some of the people who just make it seem like you can just put up whatever you want, just put up promotional links and promotional this and that. Some of their content is very outdated and it's inaccurate. So the pros: location freedom, time flexibility. The time flexibility for me is that, like, say my son or my daughter, they get sick and I'm not able to take them to school or daycare. So they might be home during the day. I might be taking care of them when they take their naps. I can work during naps. When they go to sleep at night, I can work at night. I can move my schedule around like that. The work still has to be done. I still have to produce content. I still have to publish it. I still have to get it out there. That work doesn't go away. So it's not like, if I want growth in my business, I have to continue producing. But if I need to be there for my family, I can do that too. And blogging is not something that once your business is built and established, similar to any other business, it can have very passive components because your words, your videos, your audios can do the sales for you. So it does have those passive components after it's established and after the traffic is to a certain point and after you have readers and your readership is established. But in the beginning, when that's not there, then your work ethic is going to have to be up. So I'm not going to create videos or do this video if you're considering whether or not you should start a blog and your work ethic is not there. This video is not for you, and this career field may not be for you because really it's growing in competition, and there's a lot of talented bloggers out there that are creating high quality content. So the people who create lower quality have to go into a very small niche in order to really find the success. And the people who are really looking for a passive avenue that doesn't require a lot of time are having to go into very small niches. They can't go into like big lifestyle niches or authority sites or something like that, similar to what they might have been able to do previously. Okay, so time flexibility. I hope you can understand what I meant by that. the work is still required. You still have to have work ethic. You still have to produce content. You still want to have a balance of consumption versus creation. You want to create more than you consume, ideally, but um, but you do have a lot of flexibility. You can work in the morning, you can work at night. You don't have set hours. It's not a 9 to 5. You don't necessarily have to do it from the office. You can do it from anywhere. So you do have a lot more flexibility than most professions. A different accountability. So a lot of people say, well, when I start my business, I don't want to have a boss, and I want to start a blog so I don't have any accountability, and so that nobody tells me what to do, and da 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 da. Well, um, blogging or business as a whole is not a place to go if you don't want to have a boss, because like, just go off of Sam Walton, one of the richest men to ever live. He was the one that founded Walmart. His quote was, and this is me paraphrasing it, but he said that your as an entrepreneur, every one of your customers is your boss, every one of your employees is your boss. And with that in mind, and I believe that to be true, because if you don't satisfy customers, then you don't grow a business. If you don't provide a solution that people need, a solution to a problem that people need, then you don't have a business. You don't grow a business. It won't take off. And if you grow a business, but you're not able to grow a team to support it so that it can continue to scale and grow and support more people, then you really only end up with a job. So, with that being said, you you want to think in the mentality that when you're growing a business, um, you won't have one boss. It won't be one person that you'll have to um, answer to. It'll be a lot. When I create my videos, I know that there's going to be people who like them and some that don't. And if I want to grow this channel, if I want to grow my business, if I want to grow my website, then I need to create content, not so much because this is what I want to create, this is what I like, but I need to create what you want to see. I need to create what you want to read. I need to create something that solves your problem. So, in that way, every viewer is my boss. In that way, every employee that I hire, whether it's my writers, whether it's my graphic designers, um, anybody that I hire to help me out with growing my business, um, with growing our business, because really it's a service for our community, and I want them to feel equally as responsible for it as I do. So with that being said, it's going to be a different accountability, because it's not like the viewers are going to expect something different than a normal boss would. So it's going to be a different accountability. That employees are going to expect something different than if I were to go get a 9 to 5 today. They're going to expect something different than that boss would. But the fact of being a servant, of providing a service, in the case of an employee, the service would be offering them a good job with consistent pay, and possibly even with benefits if I want some good people. And in the case of a customer, it would be offering them a good product, a good service, so that it would solve a problem for them. So that would be the accountability I would have, and any entrepreneur would have. And as a blogger, the accountability you'll have is in providing quality content. Um, you will need to provide quality content. You will need to create something that will solve a problem for people. So that'll be your accountability. It's a little different than a job. As far as the income potential of blogging is so immense, because there's so many ways to monetize a blog. So that is a huge pro, because you can monetize through services. Um, At one point when I was doing the freelance work, the blogging could serve on two different sides of my sales funnel. It can serve as a way to acquire customers by using search engine optimization. So then I don't actually have to go out and actively do live events and things that I would have, that a lot of other people do, because I'm magnetizing the customers to me through search engine optimization. Um, so it can play a part in your acquisition of customers, but it can also play a part in your retention of customers, or even in answering questions for your prospects. So you can, um, if you have a service-based business, blogging can serve as, maybe you commonly get certain questions from your customers. You can use the blog to answer those common questions. You can use the blog to answer the common objections that customers have before they decide to buy. There's so many things you can do with blogging for a service-based business, but you can do the same thing with a product-based business. You can also blog. So that's a way you can um, monetize the services. But you can also monetize through affiliate marketing. Affiliate marketing is when you partner with other companies and you refer business to them. So you don't necessarily create a product or a service, but you you introduce the ideal customer to a product and service they will really love. I love affiliate marketing, and so I can, if you're interested in that, I can definitely talk to you about that even more. You can leave a comment in the comment section below if you want to hear more about affiliate marketing. I'm sure I'll be talking about it more because it's something I love. So, a different accountability, income potential. A lot of people are monetizing by making their own products or making their own courses, information products. There's so many ways that you can monetize a blog that it really has immense income potential. I see people who are bloggers. Some of them are, some of them are just starting out and they're making a couple $100s a month. Some of them are making a couple $100s a month passively, and they have a blog instead of having something like an investment account or having something like a real estate that pays every month. They set up a blog, and they have enough traffic to it. After that startup phase, once it's there, and if it's in a small niche, then it's possible that that blog can be on autopilot and bring in income every month. If you're looking for a full-time income, it might be a little more of a challenge getting it started up and everything like that, but it's still potential for you to set up a blog, for you to build it up and have a lot of passive income features to it. So the income potential is immense. Um, yeah, it's a lot. It's a lot of income potential. There are people who are like big digital companies that start out maybe as a single person and then build it like the Wirecutter, and they're able to sell it for millions of dollars. Um, there's companies that start out small and then they add on a team and are able to build it to where it's generating hundreds of thousands per month. There's a lot of stories and scenarios out there that show you the power of blogging. For individual companies, a couple people to watch are like Michelle Schroeder Gardner over at Making Sense of Sense. She's making over 100,000 a month on her blog, and she has a fairly small team. Then there's Pat Flynn. He has a fairly small team, and he's making well over 200,000 per month. Now, I will say that those are the anomalies, because they're a small fragment of people who actually demonstrated a work ethic consistently over a long period of time and are able to see the results through. A lot of people that started when Michelle did or when Pat Flynn did, or there's another guy I like to watch. His name is Paul Scrivens. Or I love to watch the founders of Wealthy Affiliate, Kyle and Carson. When you look at all these people that started 10 to 15 years ago and now they're generating hundreds of thousands per month, part of the reason why they were able to do that is because they stuck with it. They stayed consistent. They managed the work ethic. They continue to provide value. They continue to respond to market research and market demand. So some of it is that, but when you do all those things, the income potential for blogging is so immense. Um, okay, another pro to blogging is that you get to meet new people. I mean, like you can meet you can meet hundreds of thousands of people every month through blogging because once you really master the skills like search engine optimization or video marketing or social media marketing or those different traffic generation techniques, once you master those, then the internet has more than a quarter of the world's population online. As a result, when you post online, it's like you can reach so many people, and it's no way, even if you travel a lot, that you would actually be able to make those same connections unless you're like a huge public speaker that gets on stages that are thousands big. But in today's day and age, with the internet, we're able to sit in the comfort of our living rooms and potentially touch over a quarter of the world. And it's just so powerful. That is a huge pro if you are interested in meeting new people, if you have a message you feel like you want to get out, maybe you have a ministry, maybe you have a business, and you need larger reach. Blogging could do that. Blogging could definitely do that. And so impact is another pro of blogging, is that you can make a large impact with a lot of people because of the access you have. Once you really understand how to use the tools, the resources, how to collaborate with big companies like Google and their algorithms and their bots and all that stuff that they have, once you know how to comply, then you can definitely have such a huge reach through blogging. So some of the cons with that is that having that much reach comes with a lot of responsibility. People are looking at you. They look at what you wear. They look at how you look. They look at how you dress. They look at your grooming. They look at this and they look at that. And so there's a lot of responsibility. There's a high standard when you're standing before a public population. And even me, I sit on the other side of the computer and think about the amount of responsibility and the amount of criticism that you can get and all these things. It can be a huge con because people almost expect perfection from people who are using the internet at this point. And so the responsibility, the negativity that you might face, some of that, it can be a really big con. People can talk about, you're not going to be perfect regardless of how much you try or do. I'm not going to be perfect regardless of how much I try and do. And so when people capitalize on your imperfections or on your skills, your skill level and things like that, and they say things that can be really hurtful, but it's one of those cons that you just have to deal with and you just have to do your best. The next thing is influence. Ideally, you want to use your influence to create positive change in other people's lives. There are some people who use the influence that they can get from the internet and from blogging in a way that just isn't positive. I mean, I guess I'm big on. I have a lot of strong values, and I think it's you want to use the influence in a positive way. Some people are using their influence to get people to start drugs, start fights, have hatred towards each other, and steal and kill and all kinds of destruction. And they might not realize that they're creating these outcomes through their influence and what they're doing online. But a lot of the music and video and things that are out there are ways that influence people to do really bad things. And so the influence that you can have as a public figure, creating a blog, being an influencer, creating videos, it can be a con. It can be a pro, but it can also be a con because um, you never know how you influence people. It's not something you can necessarily control. You can control your leadership, but you can't control your influence. So um, that's one of the cons. You have to be very careful about the decisions you make and the things you do in that spotlight because um, you want it to be uh, to lead people in the right direction. So you have to be very careful with that influence. Um, blogging can have variable income, and like in essence, it's a sales job. Uh, so similar to a real estate agent, and they sell houses. Um, they could have 1 month where they sell lots of houses, 1 month where they sell not as many. And blogging is very similar. A lot of the sales through a blog is generated based on the amount of traffic you have. And so some people like they might sell ads on their blog, and by way of how many visitors that come to their blog is directly correlates with how much money they make. And the same way with affiliate marketing, even though it's a little, it's not as contingent on traffic as ads are typically. Affiliate marketing does do better with more traffic. It just is what it is. And the same thing with products or services. If you have more traffic, you usually typically sell more. So, um, blogging can vary. Um, especially if you try to dabble into any type of black hat SEO strategies or traffic generation strategies that aren't evergreen. Um, so you can have a lot of ebbs and flows with income. I always recommend evergreen traffic generation strategies as the primary. And so you can learn about a lot of those things through my premium coaching services that I offer over at Wealthy Affiliate. Um, so if you stop by my website over at howtoentrepreneur.org, any of these things, if you want to start a blog, if you are interested in giving this career field a try, you can stop by howtoentrepreneur.org/wealthy affiliate. And there I offer one-on-one coaching through private message to people who have questions or concerns about blogging. So if you think this might be for you, you can actually get 2 free websites. You can get 10 free training lessons that give you more information on how to start the blog from the beginning, how to set it up, how to get it running, how to do market research, and everything you need to do to create a post, to create content, to create quality, all that stuff. I can walk hand in hand with you. Unfortunately, I only offer those services for free for the first 7 days when you sign up. So if you decide that you want to go premium after the first 7 days, then I will continue to offer those services to you. But yeah, stop by. And if you're interested in starting a blog or starting a blogging business, or just taking your business, if you have an existing business and you want to take it online and get more exposure for it and you're thinking about how to do that, then definitely stop by my website, howtoentrepreneur.org, and I would be more than happy to help you out. So that's all I had to say. Hopefully, this video was helpful to help you decide whether or not blogging is a good career transition for you, whether or not blogging is a good addition onto your current marketing strategy, um, to decide whether blogging is a good fit for you. If you have any questions that I didn't answer, please leave them in the comment section below. If this video was helpful for you, please leave a thumbs up. If you want to continue on this journey and learn more about internet marketing, about entrepreneurship, or even any of the lifestyle topics that I talk about in the future, please subscribe to this channel. Thanks for your support. Thanks for watching. Have a good day.